Welcome to SABI Stack-Free Training for a Fabulous Life. This free course is our own corporate social responsibility initiative to raise awareness and promote mental health literacy, stress, work-life balance, suicidal behaviors for suicide prevention and general well-being of career people. SABI Stack is an enterprise learning management system, LMS, a product of Seal Richards Learning Management Systems, Limited. This is a robust software that businesses and other organizations use to manage employee training and development. It offers features such as user management, course creation and cataloging, online delivery of content, performance tracking and reporting management system. Introduction to Stress Management. At the end of this free course, you will know what causes you stress, symptoms of stress, and how to manage stress, depression, and suicide. In Nigeria, stress is generally called Shege. Even though Africa may have been tagged as the Shege reserve of the world, but it still prides itself as the continent with the happiest people in the world. Africans see Shege as a common life's phenomenon. You only need to learn how to manage it so it doesn't manage you. Changes in our lives, such as going to college, getting married, changing jobs, heartbreaks or illness, are frequent sources of stress or Shege. Keep in mind that changes that cause stress can also benefit you. Moving away from home to attend college or having a new baby, for example, creates personal development or personal fulfillment opportunities, new challenges, friends, and living arrangements. That is why it's important to know yourself and carefully consider the causes of your own stress. Learning to do this takes time, and although you cannot avoid stress, the good news is that you can minimize the harmful effects of stress. The key is to develop an awareness of how you interpret and react to circumstances. This awareness will help you develop coping techniques for managing stress. For example, the stress you encounter as a student differs in intensity from what you may experience in the Army, particularly while deployed or in combat. However, the principles and techniques you use to manage stress are always similar no matter who you are, what you do, and what you are going through. Defining stress. Stress is the way human beings react both physically and mentally to changes, events, and situations in their lives. People experience stress in different ways and for different reasons. The reaction is based on your perception of an event or situation. If you view a situation negatively, you will likely feel distressed, overwhelmed, oppressed, or out of control. Distress is the more familiar form of stress. The other form, eustress, results from a positive view of an event or situation, which is why it is also called good stress. Eustress helps you rise to a challenge and can be an antidote to boredom because it engages focused energy. That energy can easily turn to distress, however, if something causes you to view the situation as unmanageable or out of control. Many people regard public speaking or airplane flights as very stressful, causing physical reactions such as an increased heart rate and a loss of appetite, while others look forward to the event. It's often a question of perception. A positive stressor for one person can be a negative stressor for another. Causes of stress. The most frequent reasons for stressing out fall into three main categories. 1. The unsettling effects of change. 2. The feeling that an outside force is challenging or threatening you. 3. The feeling that you have lost personal control. Life events such as marriage, changing jobs, divorce, or the death of a relative or friend are the most common causes of stress. Although life-threatening events are less common, they can be the most physiologically and psychologically acute. They are usually associated with public service career fields in which people experience intense stress levels because of imminent danger and a high degree of uncertainty: police officer, fire and rescue worker, emergency relief worker, and the military. You may not plan to enter a high-stress career, but you may find that the demands of life, work relationship and life's expectations can create stressful situations. The National Institute of Mental Health, NIM, notes some of the more common stressors. Increased academic demands. Societal or cultural expectation. Being on your own in a new environment. Changes in family relations. Financial responsibilities. Changes in your social life. Exposure to new people, ideas, and temptations. Awareness of your uniqueness. Preparing for life after graduation. Work-life balance. Symptoms of distress. Symptoms of stress fall into three general, but interrelated, categories: physical, mental, and emotional. Review this list carefully. If you find yourself frequently experiencing these symptoms, you are likely feeling distressed. Headaches. Fatigue. Gastrointestinal problems. Hypertension, high blood pressure. Heart problems, such as palpitations. Inability to focus or lack of concentration. Sleep disturbances, whether it's sleeping too much or an inability to sleep. Sweating palms or shaking hands. Anxiety. Sexual problems. Even when you don't realize it, stress can cause or contribute to serious physical disorders. It increases hormones such as adrenaline and corticosterone, which affect your metabolism, immune reactions, and other stress responses. That can lead to increases in your heart rate, respiration, blood pressure, and physical demands on your internal organs. Behavioral changes are also expressions of stress. They can include irritability, disruptive eating patterns, overeating or undereating, harsh treatment of others, increased smoking or alcohol consumption, isolation, compulsive shopping. A sustained high level of stress is no laughing matter. It can affect every area of your life: productivity in the workplace and classroom, increased health risks, and relationships, to name just a few. Managing stress. As noted in the introduction, you can learn to manage stress. The first step is understanding yourself better: how you react in different situations, what causes you stress, and how you behave when you feel stressed. Once you've done that, take the following steps. Decide what is really important to get done today, and what can wait. This helps you to know that you are working on your most immediate priorities, and you don't have the stress of trying to remember what you should be doing. Practice facing stressful moments. Think about the event or situation you expect to face and rehearse your reactions. Find ways to practice dealing with the challenge. If you know that speaking in front of a group frightens you, practice doing it. Perhaps introduction to stress management. Examine your expectations. Try to set realistic goals. It's good to push yourself to achieve, but make sure your expectations are realistic. Watch out for perfectionism. Be satisfied with doing the best you can. Nobody's perfect, not you, not even your manager or superior, nobody. Allow people the liberty to make mistakes, and remember that mistakes can be a good teacher. Live a healthy lifestyle. Get plenty of exercise. Eat healthy foods. Allow time for rest and relaxation. Find a relaxation technique that works for you: prayer, yoga, meditation, or breathing exercises. Look for the humor in life and enjoy yourself. Learn to accept change as a part of life. Nothing stays the same. Develop a support system of friends and relatives you can talk to when needed. Believe in yourself and your potential. Remember that many people from disadvantaged backgrounds have gone on to enjoy great success in life. At the same time, avoid those activities that promise release from stress while actually adding to it. Drinking alcohol, drinking caffeine, smoking, using narcotics, including marijuana, and overeating all add to the body's stress in addition to their other harmful effects. Here are some other strategies for dealing with stress. Schedule time for vacation, breaks in your routine, hobbies, and fun activities. Try to arrange for uninterrupted time to accomplish tasks that need your concentration. Arrange some leisure time during which you can do things that you really enjoy. Avoid scheduling too many appointments, meetings, and classes back to back. Allow breaks to catch your breath. Take a few slow, deep breaths whenever you feel stressed. Breathe from the abdomen and, as you exhale, silently say to yourself, I feel calm. Become an expert at managing your time. Read books, view videos, and attend seminars on time management. Once you cut down on time wasters, you'll find more time to recharge yourself. Learn to say no. Setting limits can minimize stress. Spend time on your main responsibilities and priorities rather than allowing other people's priorities or needs to dictate how you spend your time. Exercise regularly to reduce muscle tension and promote a sense of well-being. Tap into your support network. Family, friends, and social groups can help when dealing with stressful events. Depression. Unfortunately, a person's inability to deal with stress can often lead to clinical depression. People with depression have similar symptoms to stress, except the symptoms are not temporary. They can last for weeks at a time. Because of the sustained symptoms, the effect on the body, mood, and behavior is often more serious than with temporary stress. Depression can have severe effects on your eating habits, your relationships, your ability to work and study, and how you think and feel. The illness is not unique to a particular group of people or area of the country. Millions of adult Americans, including many college students, suffer from clinical depression. It's important to understand that clinical depression is a real, not an imaginary illness. It's not a passing mood or a sign of personal weakness. It demands treatment, and 80% of those treated begin to feel better in just a few weeks. According to NIM, the following symptoms are signs of major depression: sadness, anxiety, or empty feelings. Decreased energy, fatigue, being slowed down. Loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities. Sleep disturbances, insomnia, oversleeping, or waking much earlier than usual. Appetite and weight changes, either loss or gain. Feelings of hopelessness, guilt, and worthlessness. Thoughts of death or suicide attempts. Difficulty concentrating, making decisions, or remembering. Irritability or excessive crying. Chronic aches and pains not explained by another physical condition. It's normal to have some signs of depression some of the time. But the NIM says that if someone has 5 or more symptoms for 2 weeks or longer, or suffers noticeable changes in normal functioning, that person should go to a mental health professional for evaluation. Depressed people often may not be thinking clearly and may therefore not seek help on their own. They frequently require encouragement from others. They need help to get help. Mental health professionals say depression among college students is a serious problem. A recent UCLA survey of college freshmen indicates that today people are feeling more overwhelmed and stressed than they did 15 years ago. The National Mental Health Association reports that more than 30% of college freshmen report feeling overwhelmed a great deal of the time. If you think you might be depressed, you should talk to your close family or friends and consult a qualified healthcare or mental health professional. Suicide. As noted above, severe depression often manifests itself in thoughts about death or suicide, or in suicide attempts. Many people are understandably uncomfortable talking about suicide, but doing so can save lives. The NIM reports that in 2000, suicide was the 11th leading cause of death for all Americans and the 3rd leading cause of death for those aged 15 to 24. While women are 3 times as likely to attempt suicide as men, men are 4 times as likely as women to succeed. There are many common myths about suicide. If someone wants to die, nobody can stop that person. False. Most people thinking about suicide don't want to die, they want help. If I ask someone about suicide, I'll give that person the idea. False. That you cared enough to ask may offer comfort to the person. Suicide comes out of the blue. False. Usually, the person exhibits several warning signs. You should always take suicidal thoughts, impulses, or behavior seriously. If you are thinking or talking about hurting or killing yourself, or know someone who is, seek help immediately. Reach out to families, friends, and appropriate agencies in case of warning signs of suicide, which may include talking about suicide, statements about hopelessness, helplessness, or worthlessness, preoccupation with death, becoming suddenly happier or calmer, losing interest in things one cares about, setting one's affairs in order for no apparent reason, such as giving away prized possessions or making final arrangements regarding finances and property. In conclusion, stress can have consequences far beyond temporary feelings of pressure. While you can't avoid stress, you can learn to manage it and develop skills to cope with the events or situations you find stressful. By learning to cope with stress, and by recognizing the symptoms of depression and the warning signs of suicide, you'll be better prepared to help not only yourself, but others.